Hey folks, really excited to come to you today and talk to you all about the Pack Animal Adventure Jacket. This is the first jacket we've released over at Pack Animal, and it's a great heavy-duty wax canvas jacket. I love this style of jacket. I love wax canvas because one, it's weather resistant. It'll keep the weather out, rain, snow, that sort of thing. But the other thing is, I love how it wears. So this is a brand new adventure jacket. You can see all the lines and the changes of color throughout this, where the wax has been pressed in and kind of pushed into the fabric. Now, as a general rule, the more wax that this fabric has on it, the more weather resistant it's going to be, and the less wax in the fabric, the less weather resistant, but the more breathable it will be, right? And one thing about wax canvas is, as you wear it, that wax is gonna kind of fold and shape, and you're gonna get all these lines, but breaking in is basically that wax going away a little bit, and that's why you get these the discolorations and kind of like the lines and stuff like that. But on a line like this or a line like that, that's a little less wax, and every time you wear it, especially in the rain and in the snow or anything like that, in the weather, some of that wax is gonna come out. So eventually you gotta take care of it and re-wax it. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do now. Now, again, depending on the weather situation, you may see that that it's lost its wax a little bit earlier, or depending on how you wear it, how you like it, you may just go, I just want to keep going as is and let it continue to kind of discolor. I don't want to bother re-waxing. So let me just show you a jacket that we've worn out in the weather. And so this is a jacket, one of our sample jackets, and you can just see like the difference in the amount of wax that's in this jacket. This one's been worn and probably sat up against a truck, or just out in the bush, and this one still, you can see the sheen on it, has lots of wax in the jacket. This has less. As a general rule, this will be a little less waterproof, and this is going to be a lot more waterproof. But this is the jacket we're dealing with mostly today, so for now I'm just going to put this one off to the side and show you kind of, this looks like it took a lot of rain up top, and so where it took that rain, there was kind of discoloration there. You can see the splatters and stuff on the jacket here. And this is a pretty cool, like, distressed look. These areas I've already actually started waxing. Lose the hanger. So you can see the difference from like this area here around it with all the rain spots compared to like this waxy area that looks a lot more like some of the areas on the brand new jacket. So what I'm gonna do is use one of our favorite garment treatments. This is Otter Wax. It's made in the USA. It's this great treatment, and on a wax jacket like this that already has some wax in the fabric itself, you're not going to need a ton to re-wax this jacket. And so now I'm just going to get started and show you how this works. Okay, so with this Otter Wax, it's not too hard. You just press it into and wipe it kind of onto the canvas, and then just work it in with your fingers. Now, if you want it more weather resistant, you're going to put on more. I couldn't have used my palm there, but you just kind of work it in, and you can see you're restoring that kind of even color. Remember, like the pocket was kind of spotted from the rain before, and now it's taking on a more even color. You see the spots on here more, and then a more even tone. So again, like here before, and just real even strokes kind of in that area is going to make it kind of bring out the color of the canvas again as that wax goes in. Now once it's on there, you kind of use your fingers to spread it and get even. What you're doing there is creating some heat with the friction. And see, as you pass over it, now I'm not seeing splotches as much as I'm seeing just kind of these lines, and so that's going to be, again, that area is a little more weather resistant right now. Now, a cool thing about the bars, how they do these, they got the corners, and so you can actually get right up into like the corners and the tough areas that are created by like seams. and make sure you're giving it good, even coverage. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wax this whole side of the jacket first, and then leave this jacket this side of the jacket as is, so you can kind of see the difference of how it's going to look when it's all waxed out versus a little bit worn. Right now, both of these are going to be great windbreaks. Both of them are going to shed your light rains and mists and things like that. But the more wax you have on it, the more water resistant it's going to be, and that's the important thing to remember. Now, if you're planning on wearing it in the summer months, or it's kind of just a light jacket, it doesn't matter if it gets like this. It's not going to be soaking up water, but it's going to be less water resistant, and so that's just the important. This is more breathable, this is more weather resistant. So if you can see, if I wax right here, there's kind of this seam that's coming through. It's actually from the lining of the jacket. So when I'm waxing that part, I'm just going to pick that up and kind of wax it onto my hand. Or you could just get a board or a book or something and put it in there so you have a nice flat surface. That way you're not transferring like the lines from a seam onto the front of the jacket. Try to get an even amount for probably best case scenarios. You get a nice even amount over the entire jacket. If you wax it a little bit much, or you feel like you put on more, or to get that even look, you can always use a hair dryer to kind of even it out and speed up that process of getting the wax into the jacket. Don't do this in your garage on a winter day, because the wax is going to be cold and the jacket's going to be cold, and they're not going to go together very well. So you want to do it in a place that's warm, inside probably. Put something down like we have so you're not getting wax all over your kitchen table or something like that. All right, guys, there you go. After about 15 minutes, a little bit of elbow grease and a little bit of otter grease, we have the waxed, the re-waxed side and then the pre-waxed side. So you can see this is a little bit lighter, this is darker, and if you notice, I'm just going to bring out our original, how it looked. You're losing, it's tamping down, this extra wax is tamping down some of the highlights that the original wax jacket had, but those are going to come back as you wear it. You've basically spread wax all over this, so this is going to be, again, more water resistant, and then this side's going to be more breathable as you wear it. The front has a lot of little details. I spent about 15 minutes on this side, so you're looking about a half an hour on the front. The back is just a lot of area, a lot less detail, so you're probably looking at less than a half hour on that. Same with the sleeves. So you can wrap this up, depending on how much wax you're trying to use, in an hour or maybe a little bit more. That's going to stay on your jacket for a nice long time. One thing I recommend is maybe not, if you don't want the wax right up against your skin, maybe not waxing the part where the collar folds down. I unfolded it and waxed a lot, but I think I'd rather have the unfinished. What about all this also on the interior? Are people supposed to do that? Oh, so I wouldn't wax the interior at all. Check out this, guys. Pockets. You got a pocket. You just keep your little Otter Wax in there for touch-ups. Yeah, I wouldn't wax this because this is on your clothes. This is actually a nice thing. That wax the factory wax is designed to not. It's kind of a dry wax, and so. So it's not going to transfer to your clothing as much, and that's why we went with that. The downside is it doesn't keep as long as like Otter Wax looks. And when we say dry wax, wet wax, you can just kind of see how this has a leathery, wet finish, and this is much more of a dry finish, even where, even the original has a drier look than this that almost looks damp. Again, then when you finished waxing the jacket, you want to let it set or cure, and so you're just going to hang it up in a dry place and just let it kind of sit there for a day or two so the canvas can really soak in that wax. Then you're good to go. You shouldn't need to re-wax, depending on how you wear it, for a good while. Let's say a year or more. And you're set. Get your jacket today, folks.